How's it going there, guys? James here from Butler Farms on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, just out here in the yard getting a few things done. And I went down to the garden a little while ago, as I've been telling you in the last few videos. I needed to get down there and get those winter squash out, and looks like I waited too long on some of them. I'm going to turn you around here and show you what I've got, but I've been so busy that I kept telling myself on this afternoon I'm going to go get them, or this afternoon, and this is the first opportunity I've really had to go get them before dark. And they were kind of hard to find. Y'all saw what kind of condition my garden was in with all the weeds and everything that got away from me. But I mean, we did get some winter squash. It's kind of disappointing, but not really. I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a second. All right, so here is some of what I just went and got out of the garden. I got them in 3 different groups here, and there's a reason for that. These in the middle are going to be fine. These are, I was going to show you, we've got some ants going on here, so I'm going to have to get these out of the grass, obviously. Now, one thing I wanted to show you, people have been asking me when to pick these. This stem is completely brown. It is completely dry. As you can see, there's no green in it. So it was like that on the vine. Another thing that you are going to look for, this should be a solid beige brown color, as you can see right there. There's no green in it, so it is completely mature. And the other test is to be able to see if you can stick your fingernail there into the skin. You can see it dents it just a little bit, but I mean, I'm mashing pretty hard there. So these are going to be fine. These will store well. The 2 winter squash that I did this year were some kind of butternut. I'm gonna have to go back and look, because this is not what I thought I had planted. And then I also had these small little pumpkins. Somebody said, are those Cherokee tans? They asked me in one of the videos where I was showing them to you. They are not Cherokee tans. These are Seminole pumpkins, which are very similar. You can see about what size they get there, but this one's got a good dry stem on it. I can't dent it with my fingernail, and there's no green left on it. Now, one thing that I did notice down there is, as you saw in one of my former videos, the deer have found their way over the fence with that young green growth that I've got down there. Everything in the woods is pretty hard right now. Not a lot going on out there as far as fresh green growth, so they've made their way to my gardens, which they do every year, and I usually don't mind it, simply because by that point in time of the year my peas and everything else are out of it. But what they did do is they knocked some of these loose. Now, that's a decent little squash there, a little butternut squash, but you can see there is no stem. Well, you always want to leave a stem on it to prevent rot and to prevent it from going bad. And obviously this was just laying out on top of the ground. I'm hoping, as dry as that is right there, there's absolutely no moisture in that. I'm hoping, as dry as that is right there, that one may actually make it. Look at the size of this one, guys. This size of this Seminole pumpkin. That's one of the bigger ones. Good and heavy for its size. It finally got to where I couldn't put my fingernail in it. But not only did they knock it off, check that out. So something's been down there gnawing on them, and I'm not sure that that's going to make it. And I will say this, it is healed over. That's just as hard as it can be. So I'm going to save it and see what I can do. If it only went that deep, it didn't get into the flesh, and like I said, it did harden over, I'm going to watch that one real close and see if, make sure that it doesn't have any, start going bad at that spot. Here's another one that's kind of a weird little Seminole pumpkin, almost kind of looks like the butternut in a way, but it was good and hard. I had waited for it to green up, or stop having the green on it, and you can see they broke that one off too. So that one has a little bit more moisture in it, but I think it may make it as well. But regardless, those you know, these will be the ones that we use first and get rid of them. Hopefully they'll make it through the curing process without going bad. And if they will, then I will use those first. Now, this third little pile over here, these are some more of these Seminole pumpkins, and you can see that they are very green. Now, what I noticed in this part of the garden was that the deer I had several of these that I lost. I probably had this many more in the garden that, believe it or not, they have busted open. kind of like they used to do my watermelons. I guess they're stomping through them, and you can see where they've been eaten out of them. Another thing is, on most of these, I hadn't seen a squash bug down there all year during the growing part, but now that my vines are starting to die back and it's about time to harvest them, I had squash bugs rolling all over them. And on one of these over here a while ago, I found a bunch of squash bug seeds, and not seeds, what am I talking about, eggs. And so the squash bugs have moved in, so I decided to go ahead and take them. Now the thing is, there's no green on the pumpkin itself. It's good and dense, good and heavy for its size. I can't put my fingernail through it, but I wanted that stem to brown up. I wanted that stem to be able to harden off, because you can see how green that is right there. And I was afraid that if I didn't go ahead and take them, I would end up losing them, just simply by looking at what else was down there. Now I did, as you can see, that's about about 4 inches worth of stem that I was able, I went all the way back to the main stem that this was hanging off of and cut it as close as I could to have as much of the stem as I can. Maybe it'll start drying out, and I can save these. If not, if it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to save them, and I ended up cutting them too green, which again, I know the comments are coming, but I know they're green. But like I said, it was one of those situations where I had to get them out when I could. These are very dirty. Wipe off that extra dirt right there, but I had to get them out of there because of what I was seeing, where I'd already lost several. Like I said, that's not a extremely heavy harvest. I would say that about half, again, that many down there, have either already gone bad, or animals have already started breaking them open, knocking them off the vine, those kind of things. And I mean, that's on me. I should have been down there earlier. But the truth of the matter is, even if I would have gone down earlier to try to get these, they wouldn't have been ready, so I probably would have left them anyway. But there is something to be said about being able to be home and be able to be here day in and day out, keeping an eye on them instead of running like we are right now. But I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. Now, I am not going to complain about that harvest, guys. We've had years, we've had a terrible go with squash up here. The squash bugs, we've moved areas where we've grown them. We have tried natural ways of getting rid of the squash bugs, killing the squash bugs. I've gone down there all times of the day and night and squashed the eggs off the back of the leaves. I've done everything that I can do, and we've had years where you know, we could grow a handful of summer squash. Every winter squash completely failed, and of course we didn't have a good year with summer squash either. And to have even that many would have been an absolute blessing, simply because we struggle up here with squash. You know, squash, everybody says it's one of those easiest things to grow. Well, for whatever reason, and I haven't quite figured it out yet, it's tough up here. And I'm you know, I'm still trying to figure it out. I will figure it out. I mean, I'm not going to get frustrated with it. I'm constantly learning, constantly trying new things. Now, the only other thing is these butternut squash, as best I can remember, I did not plant any mini butternut squash. They go by different names depending on where you buy them from. And you know, there's not hardly any in here that would be the size that you find in the grocery store. Now, I know those are grown differently and they're fertilized heavily and all that kind of stuff, but this sure does look like some kind of mini variety. So I'm gonna have to go back and look. I don't know what's going on with those. I don't know if they were mispackaged. I don't know what the deal is, to be honest with you. One other thing you can see right there, this one, even though it's dry, it's good, and when you turn it over, there it is, something's been gnawing on it. So I don't know that one's going to be any good at all. I just wanted to show it to you. And you know, it may be good from like here down. I just don't know. I'll have to wait and see after I get them cured. So my next step is to get them cured. You know, it is hot and humid down here still. We got some cooler weather coming next week and some lower humidities, so they ought to cure well. Mostly where I cure my onions and I cure my squash and stuff is on my boat. I lay them out on a screen on my boat. to let some airflow go around them, but it does keep them dry. It keeps them out of direct sun. It's going to be plenty warm out here, but at least they won't be out in the glaring sunlight, you know, and cooking under the sun. So it'll give them some protection, but it'll also allow the warm temperatures to cure them, and it will also allow that airflow around them. So that's what I've always done with them, and it works well. I will put them there for, I don't know, 7 to 10 days. I'll keep checking them. One thing I do want to absolutely make sure I get ahead of is those that are green. I'm going to watch them very closely. I'm going to cure them for as many days as I can, up to about 7 to 10 days. And if I need to go ahead and use them, I'll use them. I'd rather cure them out for, you know, 10 days to 2 weeks, you know, just to improve the shelf life of them, and also to improve the taste of them. But you know, you got to do what you got to do, and if I feel like they're getting ready to go bad, I'm going to pull them, and I'm going to preserve them very quickly. We can always do something with them. So that's pretty much it for the winter squash. You know, I enjoy growing squash. I enjoy growing pumpkins and things like that, and I'm gonna get it figured out. And one of these days, I'm gonna have a lot more time here that I can devote to it, and do the things that I need to do to make sure that we're more successful with it. But as you can see, that's a lot. You know, that's quite a bit of food, whether it looks like it in the camera or not. And there's more down there. I think I forgot to say that. There are some still down on the vine that have a little bit of green still left on them. The stems on them are really green. These are the newer ones, the younger ones out toward the end of the vine. And so I've kind of opened it up down there for the deer and everything to help clear it out, so that I can get it cut down and turned under, hopefully in time to get some greens and some stuff like that planted for this fall. But I hope the deer and stuff don't tear them all to pieces. But they were way too far from being, even the pumpkins themselves, the little Seminole pumpkins, they still had green on the rind, and that's just too early. I can't see pulling them that early. Where I pulled the other ones, even though the stem was green, the pumpkin was ready. I wish I could have gotten a couple more days out of it. Maybe that stem would have dried out some more, but those are still in the garden. I hope I can get them, because they're pretty good size as far as those Seminole pumpkins go, but they are just absolutely not ready. But anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it. Again, I'm not disappointed. You know, that's a lot of food laying back there, and we'll make use of it. And I don't know if we're going to make it into pies or what our plans are for it yet, but we will use it, and we will enjoy it, and we know where it came from. We know what's on it. More importantly, we know what's not on it, and that's the big thing. So I will see you soon. I'm still working on my compost pile that I showed you in the last one, and being able to get it up and running. I'll bring you that when I get there. And then it's garden cleanup time, so I'm gonna let the deer and everything have it for a few days. They'll knock a lot of that vegetation out of there and help me out as far as just, you know, the tonnage that I've got to cut down and till under. They'll take care of that. So I'm gonna let them have it a couple of days, and maybe next weekend get down there and turn it under, and hopefully get ready for some greens. So if you haven't subscribed, please do, and go watch these other YouTubers that I've mentioned from time to time. You know, we're all in this together. We're all trying to learn from each other, and I learned so many valuable lessons from them, and they've been very supportive of me, and very encouraging to me, as all of you have. And we're going to keep growing together. So until next time, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that thumbs up button they always tell me to tell you. And until next time, we love you. God bless you. This is James from Butler Farms, and we'll be seeing you.